and every single person who has contributed towards the niyaz of Imam Hussain, especially all those mu'mineen that are helping Idarah Ansarul Hussain for barakat in their lives, together with the loudest of your voices, the loud salawat. For the zuhur of our 12th Imam, Imam Mahdi, Ajjalallahu Faraj Sharif, a loud salawat. We have been gathering here since the moon of Muharram was seen, with the intention that we will be able to learn from the lives of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam in such a way that the remaining 11 months of Allah Azza wa Jal, we will be able to connect with Allah through the wasila of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. We see that throughout the world, every single culture that you see, no matter if he follows a religion or he does not follow a religion, we see that every single person celebrates happiness and commemorates the losses that he faces. Yani we see that if a father is getting one of his children married, then he organizes according to his religion, according to the society that he lives in, according to the culture that he has been brought up in. He organizes a festival, a celebration, so that he can celebrate that occasion. And at the same time, what do we see? We see that no matter which religion you belong to, no matter which culture or society you live in, if someone who is dear to you, if someone who is close to you passes away from this dunya, then you organize programs to Now this is found in every single culture, in every single society, in every religion throughout the world. But at the same time, what do we see? We see that when someone is celebrating a happy occasion, no matter how close you are to that person, unless you receive an invitation, you will not be attending that program. No matter even if you are the neighbor of that person, if you are the best friend of that person, if you are a very close relative, until he does not give you an invitation to his happiness, then people refuse to attend. But when it comes to commemorating a loss, no matter which society he is in, no matter which culture he belongs to, no matter which religion he belongs to, when people find out that he has had a loss in the family, people attend uninvited. So what do we see? We see that the happiness is only attended with an invitation, and sadness is commemorated and attended with information. So you have on one side invitation, and on the other side you have information. Yani if someone dies in your community, whether you are close or not close with them, whether you are related or not related to them, whether you are the best friend or not the best friend, if you find out that someone that you know, someone has died in their family, you always attend that program. Whether it is a janazah, a funeral, a commemoration program, you attend uninvited. This is the norm of our society, of our culture. Let's come to the month of Muharram. How does this relate to us the Muslims? Karbala, what happened on the 10th of Muharram, is it a happy occasion or is it a sad occasion? Every single person will say, no matter what his religion, his culture or society, when it comes to Karbala, he will say that Zulm happened in Karbala. Children were killed, youngsters were killed, teenagers were slaughtered, elders were slaughtered. The family of the Prophet was left without water. No matter what religion you belong to, your heart weeps for Hussein. So people question, shall we attend the Majlis of Abdullah Hussain? Shall we attend that gathering where the remembrance of Imam Hussein, his family and his companions are taking place? Now we have a rule in society. What is that rule? Let me repeat, that when it is a happy occasion, you are invited, and when it is a sad commemoration of someone, you attend with information alone. 1400 years ago, the Holy Prophet told all the Muslims, Ya ayyuhan nas, my son Hussein will be killed in Karbala. Then all those people that claim to love Rasulullah, that claim to have the love of Rasulullah, when the moon of Muharram is seen, they should attend the Fajr Allah of Hussein. Yani the moon of Muharram gives every single person that information which is required for you to attend and commemorate someone. And that information came with the seeing of the moon. We have a narration that the people of Medina say that we would not ask people that if the moon of Muharram has been seen. But they say that when crying used to come from the house of Muhammad, we would realize that the moon of Muharram has been seen. This is who Ahlul Bayt are. Ahlul Bayt have taught us to remember Hussein. Two things, as I have been saying since the first of Muharram, it is your responsibility that you pass these things on to your children. The first is the wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And the second is the azadari of Imam Hussain. Enemies are trying to question the wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Our youth are constantly questioning, where is the wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib? And we always say that the wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam is in the Quran and it is in the hadith of Rasulullah. Yani the purpose of insan after Tawheed and Risalat is to have the wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Allah says in the Quran, Innama waliyukum. He says that I am the wali. Your Rasul is your wali. And the third is that who is your wali, who gives zakat in a ruku. Look at every single person's life from the time of Rasulullah when he announced his risalah until the final time of Rasulullah. You will not find one person who gave a ring in the halat of ruku other than Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam al-Muttaqeen, Asadullah, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Enough time to express the wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. The Holy Prophet said those people that still question who Ali is. The Holy Prophet said that if all the water on this earth, yani the rivers and the seas and the oceans, if they become ink, and all of the trees in this dunya, if they become pens, and together, if they sit day and night, they will not be able to write the fazilat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. That is the Ali that we believe in. It is not our responsibility who people have chosen to believe as their walis, who people have chosen to believe as their rahbars, who people have chosen to believe as their imams. But our Imam yesterday was Ali ibn Abi Talib. Our Imam today is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Until the day of Qiyamah, our Imam will remain Ali ibn Abi Talib. Because there is no one to compare with Ali ibn Abi Talib. You know, they say that, why don't you believe in so and so? Our children are faced with these questions. Why don't you believe in so and so? Unfortunately, these are those names that we cannot mention from the minbar. But when they say, why don't you believe in so and so? Our answer should be, if they compare themselves to one fazilat of Ali ibn Abi Talib, then we will be able to believe a percentage of who they are. But how can we believe in them that that when they come into Khilafat, not dissing Khilafat at all, Mubarak to them who they have chosen, but when the Khilafat came, the first day of Khilafat, he comes and sits on the mimbar of Rasul, and what I heard, he says, Ya ayyuhan nas, if I am on Sirat al-Mustaqim, then you also follow me. But if I go astray, then put me back on Sirat al-Mustaqim. We do not believe in them as the rahbar and leaders who say to ayyuhan nas, bring us on to Sirat al-Mustaqim. But we have chosen that Ali as our Imam, that the Prophet said, the haqq is with Ali, and Ali is with the haqq. These are the Imams that we believe in. Never question, never listen to people. People were not even happy with Rasulullah. People used to come and turn around and question Rasulullah in so many different ways. We still have people that say that he could not read and write. How can we argue with those people who don't even understand what is Risalat? Yani that person who is a leader of more or less than 124,000 prophets. For him you say that he cannot read, he cannot write, and that he had chosen people who would write on his behalf. If this is the Rasul, this is the Prophet, you are teaching your children that the Prophet would make many mistakes. Where do the non-Muslims get narrations that when we Muslims listen to them, it upsets us? Do they make these up? Do these non-Muslims get these narrations from their books? No. These narrations, Tawheen of Risalat, are all in books of so-called Muslims. Salman Rushdie, may Allah's la'nat be upon him, when he wrote his book, he was questioned. People said that you have written so many things about the Prophet. You have done Tawheen of the final messenger of Allah. What was his reply? He said, I didn't write these things from books that I had at home, but these things were written from books which were published by Muslims. We need to understand what is a Risalat. We don't have enough majalis so that our youngsters and our youth can understand what is Tawheed. Because there is no person more than the believers of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad who understand Tawheed. We do not believe in that God, that on the day of Qiyamah, Jahannam will say, Ya Allah, I am still not full. And Allah, na'udhu billah, will put his leg into the fire of hell, and then hell will say that now I am full. Is this the Allah that Muhammad taught you? People question us. People question our Tawheed. People question our Risalat. People question Imamat. People question Qayamat. The Asul-Deen, the five that we are being blessed with, are all purified through Rasulullah and through Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. So never question and never fear when it comes to Asul-Deen. And also, you should never question Furu-Deen. These past 9 days, these lectures, both myself and Allama Sabi have been discussing about knowledge. ilm and how ilm can affect us and how ilm should be used in changing our society, our culture and our norms. We see in society that every single person is dependent on one another. No matter how independent he thinks he is always depending on someone. A child comes into this dunya, a child opens its eyes in this world, he or she is dependent on his parents or her parents. As they get older, they are still depending on their parents. As they get married, they depend on each other. And as they get old, they are depending on their children. This is how life works. But we, the believers of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam, we have those blessed personalities as our leaders, as our rahbars, as our imams, as our guides, that they never leave us alone. We are only that form, that community, that sect in Islam who has an imam who is still watching over them. Why is it that we cannot come together on one platform? Why is it that our azadari is being targeted? Why is it that the vilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib is being targeted? Because the non-Muslims have worked out that no matter what the Shia do, they will always come together on the vilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. No matter what the Shia do, they will always unite on the azadari of Abu Abdullah Hussain. This is why you see many people are saying now, you shouldn't do azadari, you shouldn't do matam, you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do that. Our vilayat and azadari is taken from the lives of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Your Imam, the fourth Imam, Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, Mawla Imam Sajjad says that I do not have enough life to cry for the tragedies that fell upon my father Hussein. The fourth Imam is saying this. Then who are we to say and think that the 10 days of Muharram we have given the haqq of crying for Imam Hussein? How long can you cry? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour? For those people that are doing Ashura on Friday, and for those that are doing Ashura on Saturday, a message that I want to give you all. Don't make this an issue within your community. Mistakes happen. Who made the mistake? Why the mistake was made? Was it a misunderstanding? What has happened? Why has it happened? It shouldn't matter. And you shouldn't use this to split in between yourselves. You tell me, every single person sitting here today at Idarah Ansarul Hussain, if someone now turns around and says to you that Ashura is on Sunday, will it affect you in any way how you commemorate Imam Hussain? Are you going to cry less on Friday and Saturday and cry more on Sunday for Abu Abdullah Hussain? The azadari of Imam Hussain should be in your soul. The zikr of Abu Abdullah Hussain should be always in your mind. If you walk, you should think that you are representing the azadar of Abu Abdullah Hussain. These hands that you use for matam of Abu Abdullah Hussain after Muharram and Safar, if you do something wrong, you should think twice. These are those hands that are used for the azadari of Allah. How can you commit a crime with the same hands that you use for the azadari of Abu Abdullah Hussain? This is the time for us to think. Shiyyat, the Wilayat of Ali, Haqq-e-Zahra, the azadari of Imam Hussain is not only for the first 10 days of Muharram, but we are born as azadar of Imam Hussain. Why a child comes into this world, and if the child comes not crying, people will say that this child is dead. The child comes into this world crying, telling people that I am alive. Yani, in other words, the child opens his eyes and cries and says to the world, I am an azadar of Abu Abdullah Hussain. I am a azadar of Abu Abdullah Hussain. This is what your miyar, your status should be of being a Shia. We don't have enough time so that we can fully explain. But as time is passing, Mu'mineen, my dear brothers, my sons, my elders, my request is try to find what your Imam wants from you. Azadari and Wilayat and all of these topics shouldn't affect how big or small Shia you are. But you should always acknowledge the fact that you are attaching your name with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Someone asked Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu Ya Ali, how do we tell the world that we are your Shia? I am amazed by the person who questioned Amir al-Mu'mineen. He probably thought that Mawla is going to give him a stamp. Or he's going to say that, put this tattoo on your forehead. Yani, these questions of the companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen were for people like me and you to understand. He says, Mawla, how do we tell the world that we are your Shia? Amir al-Mu'mineen could have said 101 things. He is the gate to knowledge. Ana madinatu ilmi wa aliyun babuha. And as I have been saying from day one, 1,000 knowledges were taught to Ali, and each door further opened 1,000 doors. Ali could have given more than 1,000 answers of how you can show the world that you are a Shia of Ali. But no, Ali only gave one answer, and that answer should be enough for people like me and you to become a follower of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Mawla Ali says, O person, spend your life in such a way that people do not need to question if you are Shia, but looking at the way you conduct your life, they realize that you are a Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yani, the way you conduct your life, people will assume and they will know that you are a Shia. The more the Prophet taught people how we should love Ahlul Bayt, the more people hurt Ahlul Bayt. Azadaro, Mu'mineen, those that have come to cry for Abu Abdullah Hussain, whether Ashur is tomorrow or whether Ashur is on Saturday, for a few hours Imam Hussain is left on this world. This is time for you to cry, to do wudu of these eyes, if you have still not been able to cry for Hussein, then ask Allah for forgiveness. Because these tears on the day of Qiyamah will intercede on your behalf. As Idarah, today we are commemorating the smallest martyr in Karbala. We are here to remember Babul Hawaij Ali Asghar. As Idarah, any du'as that you have in your hearts today, give Allah the sake of Babul Hawaij Ali Asghar, and trust me, inshallah, your du'as will be accepted. But people question us, why did he cry for Hussein? As Idarah, tell me, Hussein, according to you, was an enemy of Islam. But what was the mistake of the 6-month child of Hussein? The 6-month-old child of Hussein could not even walk. Why was water not given to Ali Asghar? As Idarah, the night of Ashura, every single mother was preparing their children. Qasim's mother was preparing Qasim. On and Muhammad's mother was preparing them. Every single mother was preparing their child. But we see in the tent of Hussein, the mother of Ali Asghar is looking at Ali Asghar and saying, "Oh, Ali Asghar, your mother cannot even make you walk. How will you defend Hussein?" And another that time came upon Hussein when Hussein said, "Hal min nasirin? Is there anyone there to help me?" This 6-month-old child of Hussein, when he heard the call of Abdullah, he kept throwing himself out of the cradle. Bab would pick him and put him back into the cradle. Again he would throw himself onto the hot ground of Karbala. Imam Hussein was called, and Bab said, "Ya Master, since you said Hal min nasirin," Ali Asghar keeps throwing himself onto the ground. Imam Hussein said, "I will take Ali Asghar and I will show the Muslims your enmity with me. What has Ali Asghar done?" Idarah, the narration states, Imam Hussein picked Ali Asghar like someone picks the Quran. Imam Hussein puts Ali Asghar close to his chest, and as he is walking, the Yazidis say, "Hussein is bringing the Quran." When they see Ali Asghar, they say, "You want water for yourself, and you are using the name of Ali Asghar." And Idarah, Molana Syed read the Shahadat of Ali Asghar. But when Ali Asghar departed, he is only that shaheed in Karbala that was not once killed. But Idarah, 3 times Ali Asghar was killed in Karbala. Once in the hand of Hussein, the second when Hussein was begging, and the third time when the hand of Ali Asghar was not seen. One spear went through the body of Ali Asghar. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ya Ilahi, for the sake of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, for the sake of Babul Hawaij, these days and nights are for crying for Imam Hussein. Ya Ilahi, Idarah Ansarul Hussain, who has been organizing these majalis, all mu'mineen that have been attending from near and far, Ya Ilahi, give them barakat in their lives for the sake of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Ya Ilahi, accept our du'as for the sake of Ali Asghar, Babul Hawaij. Ya Ilahi, hasten the reappearance of our 12th Imam, Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, 3 times with the loudest of your voices for the acceptance of your du'as. Together, loud time, 3 salawat.